It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I've arrived at Moor Beer Company. Look at that lovely van. I really like that. Okay, let's get in. They got a beer for us on the bar. I am drinking a Session IPA. Here. Lovely aroma.
Yeah, you guys just
It's typical, really good Session IPA, yeah? And with Tomek Computer, how are we doing, Tomek? Setting up for a live stream. They're actually doing a collaboration today, while we're here, with a Catalan brewery from Spain. I actually met them a few months ago, drunk their wonderful kind of, it was like a barrel-aged barley wine, it was terrific. But yeah, nice, kind of light, easy drinking, a little bit of carbonation, grapefruit, touch of mango. Really good tasting beer. So, let's see if I can grab somebody for a chat. Can I grab you for a very quick chat? He's on the phone. He's on the phone. But it's okay, if you don't want to go on the camera, I can talk to you. Just your voice. How long has this place been open?
So this place has been... Yeah? See, this is why you should get me to chat. I've only been in like 2 months.
2 months, it's okay. maybe Tomek, how long, 3 years?
I think it was 5 years. No, maybe 4. Like they moved to...
oh yeah, there was something I was doing also into that. Today,
5 years. It's okay.
I'm not. I don't know how long I'm a BJCP judge.
Maybe 5 years.
George is the most.
George might know.
Yeah, so basically, once the launch of it and the bolts of phrase, here on the 25th and 26th.
Hi George, how you doing? Can I come with my camera or very quick? Very quick. Okay. Everybody's really busy. We haven't planned our trip today. We've kind of like just dropped on them. Hello, Justin, yeah?
George.
George, sorry, George.
I wish, Justin.
How are you doing, George?
Very well, very well.
Yeah.
How long have you been at this site?
At the site in general, we came here 3.5 years ago now.
Awesome.
The brewery's been going for 11 years. Started down in Somerset.
Yeah.
And then, slowly moved up here, got the tap room, and
Plans for the future? What's the plans for the future?
Lots of plans for the future.
Growing or happy with the size?
So we've got here at the minute, and then we've got the vaults as well, which we open up in Bermondsey on the 23rd of March. So yeah, that's where it's all getting really exciting.
Cool.
So we've got all our barrel works going on there.
Yep.
We've got the Benny Havens in barrels at the minute, and Old Freddy Walker, which
Love that beer.
soon to be turned into fusion, which will be epic.
Okay.
Have you had the fusions?
No.
So we've got.
No, I see the bottle up there.
Got some bottles up there. So the fusions, are those ones there.
Okay.
And they are basically the Old Freddy Walker aged in cider brandy barrels.
Ooh.
So they age and age and age, and we've got them going back to 2009, which when you do a vertical tasting of them, you think, oh god, yes, no, aging makes
so much sense.
difference.
Yeah. Okay, well we're gonna in a moment go into the brewery.
Nice.
Thank you very much for your time.
No worries.
I know you were in a meeting. We just dropped on you guys. We haven't made any appointments. We just kind of rocked in here. But thanks for giving us 5 minutes.
No worries
of your
at
time.
all.
Thank you. Hi Justin, how you doing? Are you going to show us around the brewery? Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Medala.
Wow. Yeah, there's the proof that they brew fantastic beer. The amount of medals they won. So you in the Seba West, down the Bristol area, is that east Seba?
We're southwest.
Southwest, yeah. I usually judge in the Wales and West, but I prefer to judge down this way.
So we've got, I usually start things off, if you want to see, in the lab.
Okay, cool.
Oh, cool.
So this is our lab. For me, this is really one of the most important parts of the brewery. And for a brewery of our size, last year we only brewed 6,000 hectoliters of beer, which is, in the grand scheme, not so much.
No, but not so.
But not so little, not so much. But the amount of time and money that we invest into the lab is pretty significant. So we do everything here from yeast propagation to all of our measurements and a lot of microbiological stuff. So we've got an autoclave for basically making our own media and cleaning everything. Laminar flow hood for doing everything, of course. In a very clean environment.
How many different strains you use?
We have 3 different strains, I would say, in our core beers. And then we do different yeast for different special beers as well. Actually, now we're just adding a 4th one, so I should say 4. We'll have 4 main strains. So it's always trying to keep up with it. And then we do aerobic bacteria, anaerobic bacteria, wild yeast checks that we do ourselves in-house. Of course, cell counting and density on the microscope. We do pH. We use iDip to do our water analysis every week in-house, so we can adjust our salts as we need to. We do forced fermentation tests, density checks, everything. So it's all quite
Yeah, because it's important with conditioning in the can.
Can condition is super important. Yeah, we don't want to have any problems. Touch wood, we're really well known for the quality and consistency of our beer. Like
not bursting cans. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone. You can always have a problem, you know, and like everyone else, we've had problems now and again. But we try everything we can to minimize it, and touch wood, it works well.
Cool.
Yeah. Come up here.
Right.
We are brewing, and we're just finishing the transfer, and we're starting to clean down, and also we're kicking off. We've got a hop maker, so we're starting to kick that off right now as well. So, just from a safety perspective, of course, be careful on the floor, especially.
It's the same equipment I've seen in summer set, or is it different?
So the brew house is the same you would have seen before. So it's a 20 barrel. We're 33 hectoliter roughly. I'll take you around this way, it's easier to see.
But when we do propagation,
so it's 20 barrel or 33 hectoliter single infusion mash system. It's steam fired kettle. The mash tun itself, we don't have any rakes or any temperature control in, so that means we do still everything by hand. All the taps, the temperature control, the mashing, and everything is still very much hand crafted, if everyone hates that word. So we do mashing in there, boil off it, pump over the kettle, steam fire kettle. We use whole hops in the kettle.
Usually, or this brew?
For all of our beers, except for the Imperial Pale Ales and the Fresh Hop Ale, because there's just too many hops. Everything else, we do whole hops in the kettle.
Whole cones, yeah?
Whole cones, yeah. And then for dry hop, we use pellets. So we're using the enhanced pellet. The BBC enhanced pellet. It is a working brewery.
Of course, working brewery.
Yeah. So we're in the middle, we're doing a collaboration with our good friends Ganeo.
Yeah.
Manresa outside of Barcelona. Last 3 or 4 years ago, we did a beer together called Juicy Jones. It's also with Mads from Juicy Jones, is kind of a smoothie and vegan restaurant in Barcelona. The 3 of us got together to make a fruit IPA. We've always been wanting to do the return collab here, and finally got an opportunity to do it. The original one had mango and passion fruit in it, and in my opinion, and actually a lot of people who've tasted them, it's the best fruit IPA I've ever had. Really, the fruit's integrated so well with the hops, which is what we try and do.
Similar aromas, yeah? Like American hops, yeah? Mango, passion fruit. And passion fruit really goes well with IPA, yeah?
Of course. So we were talking about what we want to do differently this time. So Mads, with his background in making smoothies and matching different fruits and malts, we talked about what we were going to do. So we're using cranberry, orange, and pear, and we've chosen different hops to sort of complement those. So we're sort of quite keen to see how this is coming along. It should be out in about 6 weeks or so. So it's transferring at the moment, and if I take you back through.
Is it possible to have a look through the windows of the, or maybe not?
There's not much to really see.
No worries, no worries.
The mash tun's already cleaned out and the kettle's just transferring.
Right. Okay.
But if I take you through into, so this is the dirty side of the brewery. Probably the only other thing to note.
Hop.
And the hop, of course. We use almost all floor malted barley, so we're really lucky here where we are based. We've got 2 of the last floor maltings in the world, both within about an hour of us. We've always used Tucker's maltings since day one. Unfortunately, it was a wonderful Victorian floor maltings. Unfortunately, they're likely to close soon because it's they need new kilns and it's just not efficient to do anymore. But with floor malt, you can really get a really richness of flavor that you can't get in any kind of...
Not worry about DMS?
No, we never have a problem with DMS.
Vigorous boiler is enough.
Yeah, we have a good boil in there, it's no problem. So, so we'll see what we're going to do from there from a malt perspective. We augment it with specialty malts from Simpsons, and who make fantastic crystal malts, and Environment, who do some specialty malts, of course, in Bamberg. Any person who's looking at this probably knows.
Well known in Poland.
So this is, so this is what we do here. And then we'll go over to the clean side and show you what we do there.
That was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, just watch your stuff.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this is what we call the clean side of the brewery. So we moved, we're called Moor Beer Company because 11 years ago we were based in the Levels and Moors area of Somerset, hence the name. And as fine as that was at the time, we were really looking to get to Bristol because Bristol is one of the most amazing cities in the world, great for food, beer, people, culture, everything. So we moved here 4 years ago. We bought this building and we had to refurbish it because it was derelict. So when we refurbished it, we basically put this wall between what I call the dirty side and the clean side.
Okay.
So all the fermentation and packaging goes on this side of the brewery. We've also got the steam boiler and services here. So another thing that we do, which is for a brewery of our size, is I think quite rare, is we've got a yeast propagator and a yeast brink. So we invested a lot of money in that last year. So we start the yeast propagation in the lab, as you saw, and then we scale it up here in the yeast propagator, and we can use it as a yeast storage facility. And we can also do small batch, different types of beers in here. So we'll draw off wort from the main brew, and we'll just experiment and play with stuff. So for example, there's a really good customer, different yeast strains, and we're doing a version of one of our beers with some lemongrass, ginger, and licorice. For a birthday celebration for a restaurant, and that's going to match up with the special food they're preparing. We're just going to have 6 kegs of it and that's it, so it gives us an ability to play with things, which is nice. So we do that here. We've got 14 fermentation vessels. We use them all as unit tanks, so we don't have any bright tanks, we don't have any conditioning tanks.
What is the capacity? The same as brewhouse? Or?
Single batch.
Single batch.
So every brew goes into a different FV.
Catalonia flag?
Yeah, we got flags from, we're friends with a lot of different countries. We've got the Basque country, Franconia, which is a region of Germany that I love a lot. Of course, Catalan, and we'll be adding flags from other friends as they bring them to us.
Cool.
Eventually I'll get a California flag there too.
Because you're a California origin?
I'm originally from California, yeah. So we do everything, so all of the work for the beer now stays in one tank. All of the beer that we've done up until last week has all been what I call modern real ale. So it's all 100% re-fermented in whatever package format we do. And when we've brought in our canning line and we did all our can conditioning, so we were the first to get recognized by camera for doing real ale in a can. It took a long time. It took over a year for them to recognize we were doing that.
Yeah, to agree that it
could be. Yeah, which is pretty ironic. But anyway, we call them nano casks. So basically, it's a cask, a small cask. So so everything happens in the tank. So we'll do primary fermentation. We'll crop off the yeast. If we're going to save the yeast, it goes in the yeast brink or straight to the next brew. And if we don't need it, of course, then we'll get rid of it. At that point, we'll dry hop the beer if it's going to require a dry hop, or we'll do whatever to it that we're going to do to the beer. We've just acquired our hoppinator. This is the second time we're going to be using it, so we're having a good play with it now, and we're hoping that that'll really kind of lift the beers even further. So our dry hopping technique will be changing, but it used to just be straight in the tank, like most people.
More efficient.
This will be much more efficient, and it should give us reduced tank time, but also, most importantly, improved flavor and aroma. With making modern real ale, I think we get the best of both worlds by having that secondary conditioning. You get a real kind of better bubble size, a real richness of flavor, better, as long as it's not too hot, better sort of stability in the beer and longevity, because it helps with the yeast. But one thing I think we've always suffered with, and inevitably you will when you're re-fermenting, is the biotransformation of hop. And our aromas, our flavors are fantastic, and they stay hoppy and more flavorful for longer. But you don't get that sort of open up a fresh bag of pellets and stick your head in it. You can't really get that by re-fermenting in this way. We're hoping that we can lift that and boost that note by using the hoppinator.
Right.
So that should be quite interesting, and we're really keen to see how that goes. So we do that. Once we're done with it, we basically take the beers all the way down. From a consistency point of view, we found that's a lot better than trying to catch it at the right time. And then we'll basically so chill the beer, get it down to where we want it to. When the cell counts where we want it to, then we'll package the beer, and if necessary, we'll add more yeast back in or more sugar to do the re-fermentation. And the other things that I'm sort of super excited about now that we just brought out is our first Pilsner. So for that one, I thought really long and hard, and I talked to all my friends on the continent who are expert people, and it was a sort of unanimous view that you shouldn't do a re-fermentation because the amount of sulfur and other off notes that really need to get blown out of a lager yeast wouldn't be appropriate, might get locked into the can or into the keg. So what we've done instead is we've gone to the German, the proper sort of splitting system. So we do, again, a proper natural carbonation. We don't do any forced carbonation in the beer at all. So it's tank conditioned instead of can or cask or keg conditioned. And so we're going forward with that. So we brought the first one out last week. It's tasting great. I'd say it's about 80% of where we want it to be. It was a collaboration with Agostino from Birrificio Italiano, who makes Tipo Pils. He's one of the best Pils brewers in the world.
Really good beer.
So I was out there last year brewing traditional bitter with him, so he came out here to brew Pils with me, and then we're going to keep this going and keep the Pils going because I love Pils, and that's why we're also doing, for our 11-year party, which we're having next month, we're having a Frankenfest as part of it, where myself and Manuela Colonna will go out to Franconia and hand select which beers we're going to select for the festival. They'll all be done in the cask, the German sort of cask, alongside all of our beers. So that'll be the 10th through the 12th of August in both London, where we've got the vault now in London, and we're doing all of our barrel projects in the vault, and it'll be also here in Bristol. So
you have a microbrewery in the vault, or is it all done here and then you barrel age it in the vault?
Exactly, So we brew here and then we ship wort over to London, and we fill the barrels there.
Cool.
So at the moment we've got 24, 28 barrels filled at the moment with 4 different projects. So we've been barrel aging since 2009, and we just had no space to do it here. So we've got Fusion, which is the very first beer we ever made, very first barrel aged beer we ever made, which is our Old Freddie Walker. That's aged in brandy barrels. And they used to be in Somerset cider brandy barrels, but they can't release any barrels anymore because they're expanding their program. So we got Calvados barrels that we shipped over from France. So that one's going. We got Benny Havens, which is our barley wine that's aging in Scotch whiskey barrels that were freshly emptied. We've got a double stout that we brewed as a collaboration with Spanish and Basque friends, and we've got the straight version of it, and then there's 2 barrel-aged versions. One's gone in rum barrels and one's gone in whiskey barrels. So all 4 of those should be coming out around kind of autumn to winter time when we think they're ready. And then we're going to expand and create a sour program there, which will be nice and far away from the main brewery, so we have no risk of contamination.
What about the bourbon barrels?
I'm not really a fan of bourbon. They're a little too sweet for me, so I don't really anticipate. Moor does what we do. We've got the freedom to do what we do because we're totally, literally, myself.
Small enough to do only things you like, not market wants,
Yeah, exactly. And because there's only the 2 of us that are the owners, we don't have to answer to anyone. We'd have no investors, and we own everything. We bought the building, we bought the equipment. We didn't crowdfund it or rip anyone off for money. And so I don't have to brew New England IPA because it's trendy. I don't have to brew Berliner Weiss or Goza because these are things I don't like to drink. So we only brew beers that I like to drink and that the team likes to drink. So that's nice because we can control our destiny.
You have your own way, and
And that's it.
people have to deal it with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I got a question. We were at Tiny Rebel, and not Tiny Rebel, it was Crafty Devil yesterday morning, and their whole philosophy was they wanted to brew for the local market of Cardiff. They designed their beers around the local market. Is that very similar to Moor in that you see what people want to drink in the Bristol area as well as, and you kind of just brew that beer? Or?
They generally brew what they want to.
Yeah, of course. But is it kind of a beer that sells better in Bristol than
So to add, that was sort of two questions.
Yeah,
So do we? We don't do any market research or anything like that. I don't listen to what anyone tells or asks us to do. I'm incredibly bloody minded, and we just do what we want to do, which, to be honest, is a really painful way to grow. And it means we grow much slower than other people who are just following whatever the trend is. But you got to go back to 11 years ago when I started this. Unfined beer didn't exist. No one was brewing imperial pale ales here. I couldn't sell an IPA to save my life. No one wanted to drink anything over 4.5%. So we absolutely went very, very hard and far against the market in an area that drinks cider. They don't even drink beer. So we had to find other markets, and hence we do a lot of export. So we do about 25% export because the export market really understood us first. So we definitely don't do what other people want. And then in terms of the second part of the question was, best-selling beers. Well, for sure, Noor Hop is our best-selling beer. So it's a 4.1% golden ale. It's sort of is the benchmark for the style. It's a 100 on rate beer, and it is the beer that everyone tries to copy. We've got actually 4 variations of it now. So we've got Noor Hop, which is done with all North American hops. We've got So Hop, which is all Southern Hemisphere hops. We've got Union Hop, which is
Marinka,
no, Marinka's not in.
That was one guy.
Marinka's in our best bidder.
In a row, sure. Union is with Gesture.
Union's with Chester.
Sure.
So that's with the modern English hops that we helped to develop, and then we expanded it this year to include Italian hop. So we work with the Italian hop company on their hop. Italian hop company.
There is an Italian hop yards in Italy. I was always thinking it's too warm there.
No, they're really doing
north?
nice stuff.
In the north?
No, in Modena. So not so far from Bologna. So we've done that, and then we're going to be expanding that out to work with other research programs in different countries. Well, I do want to do a Polish one, so we'll wind up doing a Polish hop or something else, and other countries from hops that we get from.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you. That
So-
even during working.
We just have a little look at the fermenters.
I was really curious to visit the brewery. Which I visited 2 years ago.
Thank you.
Cheers.